Hello everyone, Kerry the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter. Now, first of all, I'm struggling with sunlight, the sun keeps coming, the sun keeps going. I think we're just going to have to deal with it. If lines of light show up, please forgive me, I'm doing the best I can. I need to film this today, because I need to film this today. Okay, I'm really excited. I'm actually part of a collaboration with Tracie Fox this month, and I believe 28 other contributors to this for her matchbox kit, and the whole thing is under the hashtag of Creep on June. Now, before we get started, if you look in the description box down there somewhere, or if you see a bit of wording and it says more or read more at the end of it, if you click to that, there'll be a list in there of all 30 dates on which the videos were launched, and also the contributors' names and links to their YouTube channels. There were 29 contributors and 30 videos, because I believe Tracie did 2, which takes 30, even with my meagre math, takes it down to 29. Actually, I did that wrong, didn't I? No, it does take it down to 29. You can see numbers are not my thing. Anyway, launched the Matchbox kit basically for Halloween in June. Now, I love Tracie stuff, as you know, if you see me. Now, I'm not going to do a huge flick through of all this, because one of the things I am going to do is I'm going to link down in the description box Tracie's launch video, where she shows you the entire kit, plus she explains how to make one of the matchboxes. But I thought I'd like to just show you a quick flick through, hopefully without the sun shining on every single page that I do. Now, all of the contributors to Creep on June were sent the kit, and the only rule was use it in some way. I have made matchboxes in the past with Tracie's kits. I know they're fabulous, but to be honest with you, I didn't want to do matchboxes. I wanted to do something slightly different. Now, I like Halloween, and I've never done a Halloween journal. And don't get excited, I'm not doing one in this video. However, I am going to do a Halloween journal later in the year, and I thought this is the perfect time to make some ephemera. Now, I am not showing you every single page in the kit, and there's a reason for that, because if you look here, my printer started running out of ink. And by here, things started turning purple. With these embellishments, black and white, my printer hadn't run out of ink, although I must have clicked something weird or loaded the paper. There are a few more pages, as I said. Go ahead and check out Tracie's video. She shows you the entire kit, and you'll see it. So what I've done is I took the kit, and this is probably why I ran out of ink, and I cut it into the elements of the kit. Now, I didn't cut out the black and white embellishments, and I didn't cut out the words, these labels here, because I like to keep them all in one place, because then if I am looking for one, I can cut it out as and when I need it. So I cut down every single box. I took all the side pieces off the boxes. I took all the panels off the boxes. I took all the bases off the boxes. I cut out some of the elements. I cut out other pieces of the ephemera pieces, because what I want to do is I want to hopefully make 2 master boards. Then I can cut them into pockets, tags, journals. I'd like to get a belly band out as well, out of the 2 12x12s. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to decorate all of them up, but I'm certainly going to make the base, the master boards. I'm definitely going to cut them up, and we're going to take it from there. So let's put this to one side. Now, I have done a bit of a shortcut, because I don't want to waste your time. I had 2 pieces of 12x12 cardstock. They're 250 GSM, which is what I normally gel print onto. And all I've done is I took some spare bits of plain coffee dyed paper and plain paper for backing. And I actually took some of the spare glue pages and some pages and strips from my printed scraps. And I made up 2 12x12s. As I said, I'm going to move quite quickly, because I do want to try and get both of these done, both of these cut, and a few things along the way. So, first thing I'm going to do, because obviously we're talking Halloween, we're talking creepy. Now, I'm probably going to I'm just going to use a bit of distressing while we're talking. I'm going to come along some of these joins just to darken it down further. Now, when it comes to making the journal itself, and yes, when it's time to make the journal, I will film the journal for you. And what I'm going to do is, there's a really good chance that I'm probably going to splash some red paint on some of these as well, so it looks a bit more blood-like. Not everyone's cup of tea, I understand, but I'm probably going to go down the vampire route, something along those lines. I've yet to find the ephemera that I'm going to need for that. I don't know, maybe I'll have to actually design a vampire kit or something. Or Tracie, if you're watching, how about giving us a vampire kit? I could do with like traditional Dracula type stuff, you know what I mean? So you can throw a bit of Igor in there, you can throw a bit of Frankenstein, mad scientist. Oh, did I just shake you? Sorry about that. So right, I just wanted to do that. I just wanted to put a little more grunge into these. Now we're going to work one at a time. I'm not going to try and do two. My camera isn't wide enough. All I've got here is I've got my book for gluing on. I've got my glue stick. This is the one I choose to use. I'm not going to ink around the edges of every single piece. That's going to take some doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the strips and the panels mainly just to create stuff on the background. So I'm literally going to put my hand in the box, pull out a piece and stick it down. When I create ephemera, what I normally do is, if I know I'm making ephemera for a set project, then I can adorn it or decorate it up. However, in an instant like this, because I don't have the background pages done, I don't have any of that set so far, I like to make my bases, like the pockets, the tags, all of that. I like to make those elements, and then when I have a digital kit, or maybe I do my own painted backgrounds or inked backgrounds, when I've got that part of it done, I will then finish off the tags. But we'll see where we get to. Now I'm also going to turn this periodically, because what I like to do is I like to have my ephemera going in all different directions, because I don't really know in which direction things are going to be cut or turned. So there's that sun. I'm sorry about the sun, but as I said, can't help it. It's very sunny here in Wales. Probably about all month this month it's been sunny. I'm certainly not going to knock it, but what it does, it limits me to only being able to film from about 1 o'clock in the afternoon onwards, which is not good when you're trying to produce 2 or 3 videos a week. My spare book pages, by the way, as you know, go into a box over there. And you've seen me do projects with those in the past. Now, Tracie Fox does run a shop on Etsy called Love Drunk Journals. Anyone who watches me knows I absolutely adore Tracie's labels. Her digital labels I use all of the time. There's several kits of them, actually. I think I use Field Notes, and I can't remember what the other one is called. I can't remember what it is. But what I'll do is I will have a link to Tracie's shop. And if you go across to get this kit, spend a few minutes and scroll down, guys. Look at labels and things like that. As I said, she has some absolutely mind-blowingly beautiful pieces. Oh, that's a nice size piece. Digitals there of stuff. And I would probably be safe to say Tracie's probably got something for every event that you're going to need to make a journal or a piece of ephemera for. So don't be shy, pop across, say hello, have a look. And another thing too is the videos that are being made for this sharing are not just made by, I like the darkness there, are not just made by people with big YouTube channels. There's some really lovely, talented people out there with smaller YouTube channels. And I believe Tracie mentioned that there's a few Instagram accounts there as well. So do us a favour. It would be really nice if we supported each other. And go across, have a look. If it's something you really like, please click subscribe and click notifications if if that's what you wish to do. Instagram, pop across if you've got an Instagram account and maybe follow that person. It would just be a really nice thing to do. In this day and age, it's really nice to support as you see fit, where you see fit. Right, I'm just pulling stuff out. Actually, I quite like that. That's white, I know, but I don't mind that. Now, I do have a bit of a technique I'm going to do on these afterwards that is going to unify the collection. That's right, I've got really sticky fingers. Sorry, a bit of a damp cloth. That's going to unify all of the ephemera, I'm hoping, into one collection. Right, you are annoying me now, Mr. Book. I'm getting more ink print on me. Thank goodness it's one of those journals where, one of those ephemera sets, where it doesn't matter if it's grungy or got fingerprints on it. It's meant to be grungy. I think I want you up there. So it doesn't take long to create one of these, and a lot of the time, if I have spare ephemera, actually that's an idea. Ooh, talk about squirrel. I've got some spare ephemera that I had from my collaboration with Rachel Bella Crafts. I could do something like this with that. Ooh, watch out for a video from me. I might be doing that in the future. Well, not might be. I will do that in the future because it's just, it makes sense to do that. I've already got the ephemera fussy cut. I had a little bit of surplus from what I used. It'd be a good idea to use that and turn that into something too. Right, okay, so watch out for that one. Right, let's put that down. Now, I don't want to put too much on here because I've got other elements. So that's the first one done. That's my first masterboard. Let's pull in the second masterboard. Now, something I do like to do is we all have days where basically we're not having a good day, or we can't think what to do, or we're just in that mindset where we don't want to watch TV, but we don't actually want to make anything either. Doldrums, I think some people call them doldrums. What I would suggest is pull out your 12 by 12 cardstock. Say you've got 12 by 12 cardstock in your packs that you don't like, and literally stick book page down to them and back them. And just make a stack of them. So you've got a stash of these. So if something does come across your path, you're like, oh, I really want to do that. Then you don't have to do the mundane bit in the background. You literally just come in and stick down the elements on top. It's a great way to build your stash up. It's a great way to get yourself back into a creative mode, should we say, but without the pressure of having to create anything specific. What's that? Bats. Right. Sorry, it's a bit of a, what is that? Bats. I love this. I like crows. Crows, ravens, rooks, jackdaws, whatever you wish to do. Actually, I've got a drawer full of ravens over here, or crows. There was a sale in one of the local stores. Ooh, I want to say it's a couple of years ago now. And they were selling rooks and ravens. They really, I wonder whether I can get to it. Bear with me. Here you go. Look, see? They are Halloween ravens, and I think they were selling them at £1 each. Guess what? I got 3 ravens in the drawer. So I keep meaning to do something with those for Halloween, but every time Halloween comes around, I'm either away or actually forget what I'm doing, or I forget that they're in there in the first place. Hence, one of my tips on working efficiently in your craft room or your studio is that, you know, don't put things in a drawer that you want to use, because if you're anything like me, they'll stay in that drawer and I won't actually know that they're there. So let's pull out a few more elements. I seem to be going for the ravens, don't I? So now remember, at this point I am creating a background. I'm not creating a foreground. This is a background. And I expect things in the background not to draw the eye. Now I do have these. These are where the printer went a bit berserk on me. So they're very purple, so I don't think I'll use those at this moment in time. So what else do I need to tell you? Ooh, I'm very excited. What day is it? This will launch on Saturday the 24th, I believe. On Monday the 26th, I'm going on a retreat. I'm going on a retreat here in Wales, organised by Rachel Bellarcraft, and I've never been on a retreat before, so really looking forward to that. I'm a bit confused as to what I really want to take with me. Thank goodness I watched Gail Augustinelli every day, because Gail's videos of what she packs for a retreat have been very, very helpful. So I'm happy about that. I've got a rough idea, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, I will obviously take more than I need. I mean, wouldn't you? Well, that's guaranteed you would. And I tend to do that a lot. I'll pack too much, but as I'm driving to the retreat, it's only about an hour away from where I live. As I'm driving to the retreat and I have the car with me, it means I can pack the car, which means basically I can have anything I want as long as it fits in the car, which is a very nice thing to be for once. So part of what I intend doing is I'm going to take with me, obviously the basics like my glues, my glue sticks, my probably matte medium with me. I've got a lot of fussy cutting that I never get around to doing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my whole basket of fussy cutting, because I know in the evenings we'll have the option of continuing on working if we wish, because it's like a farm area where they've got big converted barns into creative spaces and retreat areas and stuff like that. So there's plenty of space. So I think of an evening where we're all sat around chatting, I'm literally going to be fussy cutting. I can't waste the opportunity to not be doing something. And also, I don't deal well with idle hands. I like to be kept busy. So if I can just get the fussy cutting alone done, I would be happy. But we'll see. Also, what else am I going to take? I might take my doodle book with me, actually, or I might take elements to doodle with. I mean, I've got some smaller pieces I can take, because as you know, I'm trying to, how do I put this? I'm trying to deal with my, not fear, anxiety issues about doodling. Because for me, doodling, I love doodling. I can't say I love doing it, because I don't doodle very often. But I love seeing other people doodled, and I'm sure I can do it. It's just getting to that point where I do it myself. And I think part of the problem for me is it's all about that. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect. And actually, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. Right. So I've got both of my masterboards done. Now we're going to put in an element that is probably a little bit of a surprise to some people, but we'll stay with it. Right, which one did I do last? That one. Let's get that out of the way. So what I'm going to do, I just need to wipe these fingers, I've got glue all over them, is I'm going to take some black paint. Now this is Diane Reevely's paint. It's quite a loose paint. It's what I sometimes use for my art journaling, and I've got a blender. And we're going to use black acrylic paint on here. This will be the element I want to use to tie everything together. And what I want to do is put this down so I don't destroy my nice clean mat, because the grey mat is probably my favourite mat. Let's give myself a little more room here, because you can see what I'm doing over here. And then what I'm going to do is, this is one of my favourite Tim Holtz stencils. Now, as you can see, I've just bought myself a new one because this has so much paint on it. It weighs heavier than this, even with the packaging. So I've got a new one. So I like this. It gives it sort of a gothic feel. So we're going to put paint through here onto the background. Now, the reason I didn't do it beforehand is a few reasons. Number one, I didn't want to put it down and then try to glue over the top of it. Now, all I'm doing is loading my sponge up, giving it a bit of a circular motion just to load this up. Now, I don't want a lot on the edges, just want a bit, and I'm just going to come in and I'm going to gently go over areas to give it that almost gothic feel. See what I mean? I just want to get this, the feel of it. So yes, I didn't do it first for a couple of reasons. Number one, I didn't want to have to try and use a glue stick on top of paint, although this is very thin. I also wanted to have it so that the stencil work goes over parts of the images, because I thought that would be a really interesting thing to look at as well. Now, it's a very warm day here today, so this paint is drying uber quickly, but that actually will work in my favour, because it means I won't have to pause you to go ahead and cut these up. So I'm not doing a huge amount of it, but I am bringing in pieces of it. I think I need to add a little more paint to the mix. It's easier to add just a little bit at a time than put a whole load out there, and then what you find is you're fighting with paint. You've got too much paint, it'll go underneath things. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm just looking, no pun intended, for just sort of a ghost of a design across the top. Now, when it comes to dressing these up afterwards, of course, I can come in and I can then glue on top of these, because I think these will be really thin anyway. I just didn't want to do that with the whole piece. Now, so bear with me, I'm just going to finish off these bits. We also need to remember that this is going to be cut into sections, so I have no idea where these different elements are coming from. Actually, I wonder. I'm having a bit of a thought. It doesn't happen too often, people. It doesn't happen too often. I'm wondering, instead of splattering blood onto these later, whether I think I've got a coffee stain stamp or something. I could put red archival onto this, couldn't I? Right, I think that's enough of the black. But see what I mean? It's just tied it all in together. Right, I'm going to pause you for 2 seconds, because what I need to do is I need to clean this up. I need to clean that sponge so it doesn't dry out. And then what I'm going to do is, I'm almost certain I've got a coffee splat or something thing for red ink, and I'm going to come back and do that, and then we'll get into the cutting. So here I'm back again, all cleaned up. Didn't take me long to find the stamp set and red archival. Now, I can't remember whose companies I get my stamps from, because I buy them a variety of sources. I usually cannibalize the kits, so I only keep the elements I want. I can't remember. I can't even guess, to be honest. There is a Welsh company here called, I think it's called Visual something, the Visual Image, I think it's called, here in Wales, and I very often order from them. But I've got stamps from all over the place. Really like this one, don't want the coffee stains, but I do want the splatters. So please don't ask me, I don't know. And I've got an acrylic block, so I think what I want to do is bring in this one. I'm really going to play on like the blood splatter theme here, trying to do a little gore. Let's see. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up one collection of splatters and then just stamp that randomly. Actually, that might be enough, because I don't want it to be too overpowering. So all I'm doing is I'm just got one stamp block, and I'm just going to place some randomly on it, and then I'm just going to come in. Now, I tend to use the pad to the stamp, not the other way around. Don't know why, it's just the way that works for me best. Now, I'm also not going to be too picky about where I'm putting these, but I am going to be conscious if there's areas that have got nothing on it. That's where I want them. See, just that little bit of colour just brings us all together. Now, we've got to remember we are doing a background, so I need to allow myself space to put the other elements on here, like the toppers and stuff like that. So I'm not going to kill myself putting too many of these on. In the past, what I've done is I literally get either red ink or red acrylic paint, and I just splatter it. I think a little bit in that corner just to use a ghost print of it. There you go, so that's that done. Let's pull in this one. Now, if I was to make a cover, and that may be something that I do when it comes round to actually making the Halloween journal, what I might be doing is I might do exactly the same thing as this, but then I'll cut it into like a 9x12 or something, and I will turn that into a cover. So this would work for either way of doing it. I would probably only do a single signature journal for Halloween anyway, because it's a fun thing to do. I'm not sure I would put a huge amount of stuff within it. Let's just give a little bit of red over there. Let's stamp off the excess. So I think we're done with red. So let's put that to one side. I can tidy that up later. You don't need to sit there watching me do this. Let's have a little tidy of the decks. We're not going to get messy, so that can come out the way. So next I'm going to come in and I'm going to do a bit of cutting. Now I use a guillotine purely because I like to use a guillotine. Now I've got both sets of pieces here. I'm going to turn them over because I don't really want to plan what I'm doing. So I know I want some tags. Let's do 5-inch. So I'm going to do a 5-inch strip, and let's see, shall I do 5x3? 5x2.5. I think I'm going to do 5x2.5. We'll have a look after we've done this, because as we go through I'll then cut the corners and put thumb notches in, so I actually will know what is what. What's this last one? If I do 2.5, what's that? That's 4. Let's do 2.25 on this one. So that's some tags done. Right, now I wanted a belly band, didn't I? That's 7. How wide do I want my belly band? Let's say 2.5 for a belly band. And length. Now, my pages are normally around about 8, so I like to do mine just fractionally shorter at 7.75. So that's my belly band. This can actually go into the tag pile. Now what are these? These are just over 4. Let's do some small pockets, shall we? So that's 3 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches, and this is 3 inches, I hope, just under. Right, so these are now pockets. So now onto this one. I need to think about this now. So I've got a belly band, so I need a large journal card. So my page will be about 5. So if I make this 4 inches, actually I can probably go as far as 4.5, to be honest. This does not look straight. That's better. So if I do a large journal card at 4.5, 4.5 by 7, let's do that. 4.5 by 7 there. How wide is that? That's 4.5 by 5. Let's make that into 2.5 and a something, because I will use tags a lot. Right, what we've got here, we need journal cards. So that's 7.5. If I do 3.5. Now these are just measurements I'm pulling out of thin air, guys. By 4. By 4.5, which means I've got a small square one. And then the last piece is, this is 4 also. Let's do some smaller journal cards. So that's 3. 3. What's this at? If I make one just under 4.5, That gives me a thin little tag, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to cut this diagonally so I've got some corner tucks. So that's my corner tucks. Time to put this puppy by. So I've got 3 punches I'm going to be using. Corner rounder, because I like to round the corners on some of my journal cards and some of my pockets. I've got a small, I think that's probably a 1-inch round that will give me thumb notches. And I've just got this one, which I happen to see, it's got no brand on it whatsoever. I think I found it on eBay. I've seen other crafters use it, and it's just for taking the notches off the sides of tags. You know me, I've got a little plastic gadget that I actually made, and I'll link that in the video as well, in the description box, where you don't need to spend money and just use something like an old store card and cut yourself a template. I'll put that in the description box as well, because that's a fast and easy way to do it without spending money. But because you're all going to be watching, I want to work quite quickly, so we're going to actually use that. So where am I up to? Where are the pockets? These were journal cards, these were pockets. Right, at this point I'm going to turn them over because I need to see where the notch is. Okay, that makes me think I don't want it as a pocket that way. So I'll put the hole there, but when it's on the page it'll be vertical. So I'm just going to come in, put a bit of a notch in, and what this will do is, this means that in future I will know that they're pockets, because sometimes I get my pockets, my journal cards mixed up. I didn't have a game plan for how many of each I made. I just ad-libbed it. Right, so that's the pockets done. Right, corner tucks, what did they end up as? Okay, they're fine. They can have an embellishment there and an embellishment there, that's fine. Right, journal cards. Oh, that's a nice one, I like that. Now, all of these were just backgrounds, remember. Right, I think I'm going to come in, I'm going to use a 7mm to round the corners out on this, purely because I like rounded corners. They don't get stuck in pockets then. They don't get caught up. I'm hoping I've got enough time to actually decorate some of these at the end of this. So I know there is a lot, there are a lot of people who love Valentine. What am I talking about, Valentine? Halloween, which is fabulous, because I like it as well. I don't know why. Possibly because I lived in the States for a while, and I regard it as more of an American holiday than a British one. Although the British, as with everything, will take on anything, and they have done. Right, so this is the large journal card. Actually, I like the way that those are both the right way up. So let's just give this a bit of a... Why aren't you notching? Let's do a big notching if you're playing silly so-and-sos. This is a very old rounding punch. I can't tell you how long I've had this. And sometimes it can be just a little bit temperamental. Mind you, that's me being wrong there. Let's just tidy that little edge off there. That's why it wasn't. So that's my large one for my belly band. So this is my belly band. So as you can see, that's how it'll look. It'll be really nice actually, because that will show out there. This is up the right way. Now what I will probably do with this is I might put black lace down the edges of this and then put a strip of something down the middle. Don't know. That will be when I get round to actually doing the journal itself. Right, so now we're into Tag City. So tags. That's a nice one. Pity his head got cut off. I think I'll be putting something in that one. Can you see these? I hope you can. Now, at this point, if there's anything I really think, oh, that would make a better tuck spot or a better something else, I will do that. But no, I'm quite happy with all those. So this little gadget here gives you 3 different sizes. I'm finding that I'm using the medium size before any others. I am sorry, there is no brand on this. As I said, I just came across it on the internet. I have seen other crafters use it. If you're one of those crafters, I should put that way up. If you are one of those crafters and you know the brand or you know where to get one, please feel free to put it into the description box. It will, not description box, into the comments. That will actually help someone else out. Hopefully this clicking isn't annoying you, but it's part of the process. Right, all done. So now everything is actually prepared and we can see whether we can just stick on some stuff now from the kit as well and make more of what we've got. Now I think this one is going to be left as it is because I do want to do lace down that, and I can't remember where exactly the black lace is at the moment. I only have a small amount of it and it's tucked away in a drawer somewhere. So these are our 3 items. So now I'm going to pull in what I call the embellishment pieces from the kit. So these are all the little things that weren't necessarily a panel, they were just bits and pieces. So I cut them out. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and decorate a few of these up as we go along. I think we're going to start with the corner ones actually. So is there a right, is there a wrong? Probably not. It's annoying that that is on an angle. There you go, that's cured that straight away. Right, back to my glue stick. Not sure that you need to see me gluing, but it's paper to paper, so I'm just going to use a glue stick. If there's anything like cardstock involved, I would immediately have used art glitter glue or a more robust glue, should we say, because I'm not always sure that there's enough strength in the glue stick. Right, liking that, and I think that's just nice there. Oh, shall I put a little bit of shading around him? Right. I think you can't go wrong with a skull at Halloween, can you? We will flick back through these at the end, or as many as I've actually done. Actually, that's quite cute as well. Ooh. Tracie, you're putting nice elements in this, I love it. But then you always do put nice elements in it, so straight. Hopefully that's straight. And then afterwards I would go around and distressing all of the edges. Not going to do that with you because it's very boring. And I don't need to waste my time doing that when I think there's almost everyone on here is probably at some point seen somebody go around the edge of a piece of ephemera. So I'm just going to pull this in. Stick on its side. I feel that needs a something. Actually, what about this? Oh, what about this? That's too similar. Is there anything thin in here? That's a bit large. Actually, I'll put that down there. I might stamp a word in that later on. Or I may not stamp it in. I might put a date in there or something along those lines. Right, so that's that done. Let's look at some pockets. So let's start with the first one. So pocket. Now pockets can actually carry bigger pieces, which is wonderful. So I'm liking this green label here. Quite like that to be up there. Now I'm only using at the moment Tracie Fox stuff in this. You could use whatever you please. I really like that, but I don't want to use it as a tag. So I just cut the top of the tag off. Grab that ink, and just by doing that along the top and the sides, it'll make it look as if it was always meant to be this way. So if you've got something that's a tag and you really like the image, cut it down. I very often cut down stuff, and the thing is, it's a digital, so that actually means that you could print it out anytime you want and use it in the future. I do feel this needs one more element. not that element. That's not it. Oh, actually, bat seminar. There you go. Seminary, seminar. What did it actually say before I make it up? Seminary. Right, next pocket. I'm going to leave the white ones out so I don't actually use those because I would use them for something else. Tombstones are probably too big for that particular thing. Right, that might go on there, but I think I'd like something slightly behind it. Maybe something a little... Yes, let's put this down. I'm going to need to edge this. It needs framing out. Well, it seems like the sun has calmed down, which is a rather good thing, because that means that all these pages are ripping as I'm taking them out. Which is a really good thing, because that means that we're not having all those nasty bright areas and shadows now. So that goes on there. So see, just by taking all of the elements from this, it's really turning into a rich collection of ephemera. And it all started out as a wonderful matchbox kit. How fabulous is that? I am in shot, aren't I? I'm always a bit paranoid about being shot. Right, got to be careful I don't rip his little antennae off. Or as my friend Gail will call them, antlers. She knows they're not antlers, by the way. That's just Gail being Gail. And we love her for it. Absolutely love her for it. Let's turn that slightly. I think that one will probably need a number or something down the side, but I'm not going to dig anything out just yet. Right. Loved this. However, I didn't realise that was that way up, or I would have put the thumb notch at the top. So I'm going to have to cover that now. Well, there you go. That's covered that up, hasn't it? Burdock. Why do I know the name? Oh, dandelion and burdock. Did anyone used to drink dandelion and burdock? Actually, I like the way the red carries across onto that. It's weird, isn't it? Because I wouldn't normally have reached for a heart for a piece of ephemera, but kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Now, is there something I want to stick along? What's this? Just a piece of strip of paper, Griffiths. Okay. I feel I want a third thing down here. I don't think that's it. Can you see these? You can sort of see these. We've got a spider. I was struggling cutting the spider out, I must admit. For no other reason than it was just a bit fiddly for me to cut out. But I've got big hands, people, so... having a little bit of a look-see. Do I want to just put another label? No, I don't want to put another label. Sorry, getting a little indecisive. I love these. I need to leave that out because I use that. Where are those skulls gone? I saw another skull somewhere. Let's do another skull. Because when else am I going to use skulls? Except maybe Nightmare Before Christmas. Pop that down there. I think a jaunty angle would do him well. Right, now I know this is going to be this way on, and I really liked that as being that way on. Quite like that there. I like the angle of it. I need something else on here. Now, I could get... I think the tombstone and that is too big. Transylvania. Actually, that looks too much like the text above it. What's this? I think we're going to use this. I do need to edge this one out because it's going to merge into the background otherwise. So these eyes could be watching this couple. I'm okay with using that. And I want to get rid of this page in a second because it's getting stickier. I want to put this number on here as well. No idea what the time is on here. I'm trying to see what the time is. I can't work out how much longer we've got. I usually have a timer that I put on. Right. Timer. Guess what? I didn't set it, did I? It's normally there just for me because I tend to get carried away creating stuff, and I forget. I did like these hinges. Actually, do you know what? I think I might put a hinge and wrap it round to the other side. I like the fact you've got little tiny elements within this as well. So let's slide that into place. So I'm just going to slide that on there, wrap that around there. So I've got the hinge on that side and that side. Now I thought I do have. No, I don't want to use that there. I think I'm going to call that one done. Right. I've done the pockets, haven't I? Right, let's do a couple of tags. See where we're up to. Look at the eyeball thing happening again here. Now I was hoping, actually, let's do journal cards. Sorry, being a bit all over the place, because I want to use some of the bigger elements I keep forgetting about. Now the journal card goes this way on. Creep on June. I'm liking that. Let's put that right by there. Let's get rid of this book page. Now, I haven't cut out the black paper embellishments, as you heard me say, purely because they will be something that I would probably use in a journal, but not necessarily in the ephemera. I think I want to put the spider on there for no other reason than I think I'm going to lose one of the spider's legs if I don't get the little one stuck down. I used to be absolutely terrified of spiders, but then I lived in Australia. You kind of have to get over it when you live in Australia because there's spiders. So, right, journal card like that, and I'm looking at this, thinking I like the feel of that with that. But actually, I've just spotted this one. Ooh, maybe that's something for a tag. Let's put it over there in the tags. Right, who are you, young lady? I don't mind you on there, and I don't mind that you're tag shaped either. Get lined up where I want it. Try to make sure it's straight. Not something I do regularly, but there you go. Oh, I could have backed it with that, couldn't I? What else have we got here? That can go on something shortly. I want something that's a shape. Oh, I wonder. Nope. That's a bit big. That's a little big. I'm looking for something. Oh, wait, what's that? I think that's a calendar of some sort. Oh, there's one of those. Okay, that will work. I need to do the edges of these. It's funny because I cut the ephemera last week, and I've probably filmed 5 videos since, so I've completely and utterly and totally forgotten what was in the kit. I want to connect these. I do feel it needs something there. Oh, maybe it needs that. So remember, when you look at the kit, the things I'm using as labels and stuff actually weren't labels. They were panels on the sides of matchboxes and things like that. That feels wrong now. Let's put it on this one. I always swear that I decorate via my gut instincts. So, what's another nice one as well? I want something here. That's too much. I thought I had a little label in here. So, oh, rest in peace. A tiny little element. That will probably... I'm going to put it over to here. Not saying that I'm 100% with that one. It might need something in the future. Right, this one. Ooh, put your hand in the glue, Griffiths, is not a good idea, is it? Right. I like this one. I like the bugs and beetles. I like the colour of it. Have I got a panel that would actually frame it? I quite like that. I'm going to do that. So what I'm doing is I'm using one of the Matchbox bases, the insert for the inside, and I'm just using that as a layer for the bugs. Well, Tracie, I wish you every success with this kit. It's a lovely kit, but then I don't think I've ever seen a kit of yours that isn't lovely. So that feels a little large there. I'm still trying to use one of these. I don't know what it is. I think because my printer was going a bit wibbly wobbly, they turned out purple, which doesn't really work for me. Actually, let's put a bigger skull on that one. There are several skulls in this kit. I think there's a pair of skulls, and there's, what am I trying to say, almost like a sketchy version, like as in sketching from maybe a medical book or something. Is there anything on here I want to add up there? That might be appropriate. Maybe it's a bit much. Ooh, that's the one. Ooh, looks like the sun's coming back. What is the time? Oh, it's lunchtime. No wonder my stomach's growling. Hopefully you couldn't hear that, but there you go. That's that one done. Right, let's leave these two to one side, because I know I'm not going to get through everything. And let's look at a couple of tags. I'm determined to use this because I really like this. This reminds me a bit of Lord of the Rings, you know, when they go, is it Mordor? I think they go through the doors of Mordor. I'm sure it's Mordor. Goodness knows, I should know. I've read the books so many times. Actually, I've read The Hobbit probably 6 or 7 times. And I've seen the movies several times as well, so that feels a bit clean. I want something up there. I'm running out of options because guess what? I'm using them all. Oh, that's exactly the same right size, but it actually looks too big. I wonder. Sorry, Trace, cutting it out. Cutting the label down slightly. As I said before, I can always come back in, reprint and cut again, so I don't mind cannibalizing, as I call it. Now, I'm sure I'm going to get in the comments, Kerry, you decorate very quickly. Yes, I do. And there's a reason for that. Firstly, confidence. Secondly, not really caring a lot, probably. I care what I create. I care in so much as I want the end result to be right. But I don't care if I make a mistake. I'm trying to be more forgiving of myself. And in doing so, I've cut the other bit of the label out. And in doing so, it tends to free you up. Because you know what? If I end up making something I don't like, I'll just stick something over the top of it and restart. I used to have a real problem. And some days I still have it because I procrastinate a lot. A real problem with perfectionism. but I've really tried to reel that in now. And what I do now is I strive for excellence. I try not to strive for perfection. Something like this is so easy because the kit is stunning. It's already done for you. Right, wasn't there a big bottle somewhere? I've lost the big bottle. Oh, he's cute. Well, I wouldn't say cute. He's a bit, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but you know what I mean. I've lost it. I could have sworn there was a large bottle. I must admit, I'm not good at working in mess. I do quite like him. Oh, I didn't use the cat, did I? Maybe on something else. Let's think something sort of medical in this. If I put something behind some of this. Right, the map is upside down, that probably doesn't help. Transylvania. Right, liking that. These are definitely going to need an outline. I think I'm going to make this my last ones because I've sort of lost track of time. I don't really like to go much past an hour, as you know. And I do want us to flick through and have a look at these just to see what the end results are like. I am more than likely, when I actually come to do the journal, I am very much likely to add other elements to these depending on the kit I'm using at the time. And by kit I mean if I'm using a digital background or if I'm using one of my own backgrounds, I will bring elements of that to play. Good, the word Transylvania is still there. Right, if it's got Transylvania, I wonder whether I've got something like a bat I can use. I've got an idea for that. Right, I did originally put that there, but I'm not sure now. Something up there. That's not it. I thought I had a crow here as well, or a raven. I've lost it. I'm wondering where... Oh no, there he is. He gets a bit lost in there, doesn't he? Oh, this is the other one I was saying. The skulls are a pair. Right, this definitely needs a something. Okay, I'm struggling with this one. I've got another little rest in peace, which may just go by there. To finish that element off. Right, I wonder whether... No, it's too big. Oh, sorry guys. I will sort this out in a second. If I had something lighter in the background, I might actually put the crow on there. Because the crow is what my gut instinct is wanting to put on there. I wonder. That might work. Let's do that. Let's just put the label on first. Vertically. There's the crow gone. Or the raven, whichever one he is. I always get a bit confused by ravens, crows, jackdaws, all of the family birds, because I'm not an ornithologist. I can't know everything. Goodness grief, my head would explode if I knew half the things I wanted to know. Right, what I was thinking is I like this Halloween here. I'm going to sabotage this and take this out and add it to this tag. And I know exactly where I want to put him. I'll set that right up there. So right, lid on the Delugriffus. I tell you what, as soon as I turn the camera off, I'm going to find all the bits I couldn't find. Right, let's put the scissors out the way if I stab myself. Okay, we'll do a bit of a count after we've actually looked at the ones we've created. Just because out of curiosity, I'd like to know how much ephemera I created using this kit. And I've still got oodles of stuff. That's the stuff in the box. Plus all of this is still on my counter space. So we decided not to do these because they were just spares. This I'm going to do when I actually do the journal itself. So that's undecorated stuff. So, okay. So we had a corner tuck. Loving that. Another corner tuck. Now, once these are distressed around, they're really going to frame them out. That's the one we just did. Another one there. Journal card. Journal card. Journal card. Side pocket. Bottom pocket. Or top pocket, sorry. Top pocket. Top pocket. I think that's okay. Right, let's just pull this one out and show you what it looks like. The change in making something framed out with distress ink. Now, inking the edges is not everyone's cup of tea. Some people don't like it, some people do like it. I think for this sort of ephemera and this sort of journal, it's the right thing to do. I mean, I could have done it in black instead of brown, but I didn't want to go too dark, says he wanted to do a dark journal. So, let's do a little bit of a head count to find out how many bits of ephemera are created. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 pieces from 2 12 by 12s in, let's say, about an hour-ish. I mean, let's say an hour and a half if you were doing the background to start with. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed that. As I said, remember there's 30 videos in this, so if you click on the word #CreepOnJune, it should bring all of them up. The link will be in the description box for all of the other videos and video contributors and the Etsy people. Great kit, Tracie. Thank you very much for that. Really, really loved it. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. So, I'm Kerry the Crafter. That's C-E-R-I the Crafter. Until next time. Bye-bye now.